evolution of a male and female gamete to produce a zygote. In multicellular organisms, this cell repeatedly divides repeatedly to form an embryo with many cells. Okay. So mitosis ensures that any cell in the embryo has all the genes in the genome, so it could develop in any way. And in an early stage, the cells are all unspecialized, which we call to be stem cells. You remember? We discussed about stem cells as well.
Yeah.
Yes. So stem cells were those that have not differentiated into any particular category of organ system, but they can develop into any one. As an embryo grows, the cells develop along different pathways and become specialized for specific functions. And this is said to be differentiation. So differentiation is what? Where a cell divides into a particular, means various types of category of cells that ultimately give rise to a particular organ system, which is very much specific in performing a particular function. In early stage embryos, okay, so can you see it now?
Yeah.
Okay, fine. 1 minute. In early stage embryos, gradients of signaling chemicals known as morphogens become established. So concentrations of morphogens indicate to a cell its position in the embryo and therefore which pathway of differentiation it should follow. So what term did we come over here? The term that we came over here is morphogen. Morphogen are actually those chemical substances that are released by cells itself and that dictate that in which direction a cell will develop or differentiate. There are gradients of morphogens between the anterior and posterior of early stage embryos. Anterior means the front part and posterior means the back part. Morphogens are the regulators of gene expression. They determine which genes are transcribed to produce mRNA and therefore which proteins are made in its cell. Am I clear?
Yeah.
Okay. So over here we are observing the 8-cell human embryo. All the cells are unspecialized at this stage. Next, we will go to stem cells again. Stem cells have two key properties. What are they? That they are self-replicating. That is, a stem cell can divide endlessly to produce more stem cells, and undifferentiated. A stem cell has not developed specialized features that would commit it to one particular role. Means they have the capability of acting towards the level of morphogen and accordingly dividing in such a way so that they can divide into many cells. Okay.
Yeah.
So what are different types of stem cells? Let's go through them. One of them is said to be totipotent. It is in early stage animal embryos. They can differentiate into any cell type. And so they are used in stem cell therapies. Next is pluripotent, where stem cells are able to differentiate into many but not all cell types. Means the range of differentiation decreases over here. And the last one is multipotent, where stem cells are able to differentiate into several cell types. Okay.
Yeah.
Now, after this, let's come to stem cell niches. All cells in an embryo are stem cells. Most cells produced by division of stem cells become differentiated. Only a small percentage of cells in an adult's body are stem cells, but they are present in many human tissues, giving them considerable powers of regeneration and repair. So we can use the stem cells for any purpose. For instance, we want to repair an organ, or we want to replace certain portion of an organ that has been damaged. It may be some delicate organ like liver or lungs itself. So over there, the stem cells give rise to new tissues that are regenerated. The precise location of stem cells within a tissue is called the stem cell niche. It must provide a microenvironment with conditions needed either for the stem cells to remain inactive and undifferentiated over long periods of time, or for them to proliferate rapidly and differentiate. So let's go to the examples of stem cell niches. First one is bone marrow, the soft spongy tissue in the middle of the femur, sternum, pelvis, and other large bones. Now, bone marrow contains hematopoietic stem cells. Hematopoietic means these stem cells can give rise to those cells that are related to blood. So they produce huge numbers of red and white blood cells and platelets each day. This is made possible by a generous supply of blood carrying oxygen, amino acids, and other nutrients. Bones receive up to 15% of cardiac output, much of which goes to the marrow. Okay.
Yeah.
So the next type of stem cell that we go are the hair follicles. They are pores in the skin that hold hairs. Stem cells at the base of each hair divide repeatedly to generate the many cells needed for hair growth. Human hairs typically grow at a rate of 0.35 millimeter per day, and blood capillaries supply the necessary nutrients. One minute. Next, specialization. As we see that there are different types of stem cells that we have observed that give rise to a particular type of cell. Now, according to the organ system of our body, there are examples of wide range of cell size in humans. These include male gametes, which are only 3 micrometer wide, which makes it easier for a sperm to swim to the egg. Next comes red blood cells, which are very small in size, and they allow passage through narrow capillaries and giving a large surface area to volume ratio so that more amount of oxygen can be taken up by them. Next comes white blood cells or B lymphocytes, which when activated grow into plasma cells that produce antibodies. After this comes female gametes with a very large volume of cytoplasm that contains enough food to sustain the embryo during the early stages of development. And after it comes the longest cell, that are the neurons, which once degenerated cannot be recovered easily. Next comes striated muscle fibers, which are very large cells with diameter 20 to 100 micrometer and lengths that can exceed 100 millimeter. These allow large and powerful muscle contractions. Okay.